I was literally talking for that long, my cameras went out of storage. Hey guys, it's crazy, right? I'm just gonna hop straight into this video, and there is an obvious thing missing, being Izzy, but I'll get into that. The 3 points of this video, basically I'm gonna cut this video up into 3 different parts. Now, the thing that's going to dominate this video is going to be my A-level results, my A-level story, all this stuff. I got my A-level results 2 days ago, and rather than doing what we did for GCSE with filming it on the day or going home and filming it, I just wanted to let it sink in and then make a video on it and, you know, think about what I was going to do. Another part to this video, which is going to be what happened to our channel, like why is it only me, what's gone on. The third part of this video is going to be what's going to happen next, what is going to happen next for me, for Izzy, for the channel, like literally what. And how I will split that up is I will put the points, you know, the time at which I talk about that in the description, but I'd like if you watched it all. But I know some people will only want to know about the results, but then some people who've watched our channel for a while might want to know, like, what the heck is going on, like where is Izzy, what's happening, you know, all that kind of stuff. So please give this video the big thumbs up and subscribe. It's down below on the side. It has been a while since I said that. Literally, I feel so different, it feels so weird. Anyway, this video was much needed and I need to get my message out, certainly after the GCSE video, which literally destroyed my life. I got my A-level results 2 days ago because my biggest goal for A-level was to get an A in English. That A meant more to me, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but more to me than the C in maths did. This A meant, like, to get one would mean, it meant the world to me. I put my heart and soul into every single A-level, but my English, there was something so special about that. My 2 teachers, like, I cannot believe, they were absolutely brilliant, and I just wanted that A so badly because my target grade for A-levels, I'll put on the screen like up here somewhere, then my predicted here, and then my real grades here. My target grades were CCC, so I started off with all 3 C's. That's what I had to aim for. With A-levels, it is the hard work that counts. You don't have to be an A-star student at GCSE, you don't even have to be an A-grade student at GCSE. I wasn't, I was only a B and C grade student, and I managed to get what I got, which I'm going to drag out and I'm not going to tell you for ages. No, I'll tell you in a minute. You don't have to be like that to succeed at A-level. The reason why I did so well at A-level is I worked my absolute backside off. If I'm allowed to say that, mum, okay, if I'm not, I'm sorry. I just worked so hard, and I mean, I would sit at my kitchen table from 4 o'clock all the way till 8, and I know some people say that's not an effective way of revising, but it is for me because I do essay after essay. I'd make these big posters, I sit them on my wall, my mum would rip them down, I'd sit them back up again. And before all that, I would have spent an hour at school either with a teacher in a revision session or at the 6-1 block, sat on my own in an empty study room at the end of the day. I didn't care that I was the only person in the room, and it was a bit like awkward when all the cleaners would come in and you're just sat there with all your stuff all over the table. I didn't mind because I knew it would make, you know, I knew that that was the only way I could do my best, just by working my absolute heart out. I put everything I'm not even exaggerating. I literally got told by so many teachers, Frankie, go home and don't do anything because you're working too hard. Like, go home. For this half term, my English teacher was the best. She was just the best teacher in the whole world, and she was like, Frankie, you have to stop. Put it down, relax, just calm down a bit. Now I'm going to move on to talking about the actual exams. Say if you're in year 12 or if you're in year 11 and you want to know what it's like. From year 12 to 13, it is quite a step, which you don't realise. It's a gradual one. It's one that you do. It's like an implicit step up. It's not something that's so obvious. But it all becomes revision mode very quickly, and luckily for me, my revision mode started the day I started 6th form. In year 12, I was like, that is it, this is going to be my time. For the first history exam, I came out of that, it was a Middle East exam, and I was like, okay, that's not bad. It just felt weird because it was my first exam, and there's so much pressure I put on myself for it, and I worked so hard, I revised so much. I'd watch documentaries in the bath, I'd do everything under the sun that I could to try and understand history. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then my second exam was the one that meant everything. It was the first English exam, and this English exam was remember places, which was I think the language side of it. It was a transcript about Paris, and it was like travel writing, and it's compared to text. It was mad. It was the one that I was like, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm scared about that one. And then I had the Handmaid's Tale, my absolute thing. I love the Handmaid's Tale. Oh my goodness, it's just insane. And then I had poetry, and I walked away from that exam like, okay, I predicted every question on here. The poetry one went amazing. The Remember Places one went fab. I don't know how that happened. This is just, I'm saying this not knowing what I actually got, but I know overall I got an A, so it mustn't have been that bad. And then the Handmaid's Tale one, I was a little bit disappointed because I found it really difficult to talk about the language in it, because it was just like, Nick opens the door, I sit down, he turns on the light. I was like, well, it's quite difficult, but luckily I was on it for the past 2 years, and I had learnt loads of quotes. I had gone on to like Google Scholar, and then I'd find quotes that they would say about the Handmaid's Tale, and I'd pull it out, say it was about Nick out, and I'd put that in my exam. And luckily I did all that, and I would weave it all through my exam, and it was just extra effort I went to make sure that the examiner knew that I like loved this and I did this. And then if you don't know what to say, you just base your whole essay on that quote. It's great, it's fab. And then the poetry was like went great. And then came the second English exam, and I put everything into this because Gatsby, we studied The Great Gatsby and Othello for the second paper. Now for Gatsby you had to do some creative writing, and you had to then make a commentary on it, and I was so scared because this was always like my weakest one apart from Remember Places. This was like the one that was a bit, you know, like you could slightly mess this one up, but my commentaries are always alright. And I opened that paper expecting it to be about Jordan because, as I said, I could predict the exam questions, and I was not expecting them to do like an unnamed character in an annoying scenario like they did last year. So I was like, okay, it's gonna be fun. I opened it and it was about Wolfsheim, Nick and Gatsby, and I was like, ugh! And it was from a waiter's perspective, and I was like, no! I was like, this is just the worst thing in the world. Like, I can't believe they have done this again. AQA, you just want me to like fail, and you just want to ruin my dreams. So yeah, but luckily the Othello question was beautiful, and in the exam I spent literally, I think I went overtime on Othello because I only had 40 minutes to do Gatsby, and you're meant to have an hour and 20 minutes for Gatsby, and I was like, oh no, I can't believe it. I was so upset. I was absolutely devastated because I was like, Gatsby also was 55 marks, and that was the biggest marked question out throughout the whole of the exam, like both papers, and I was like, that's it. And I you know, I thought that was it. I thought, no way I'd even get a B, no way I'd even get a C. I was like, that Gatsby question would have probably been a U, but it mustn't have been, and you'll find out why in just a few seconds. Just before that though, I will tell you about the history. Now for the Stuarts, I was like, even though I did my coursework on Oliver Cromwell, I got an A in that coursework though, which was fantastic for me. So I knew going in there that I wasn't gonna come out with like an A star in that or an A in that. I just knew it was just gonna be like, just to get that exam done would have been enough. And it was the big question, the 30 mark, that was horrific, that was disgusting. But there was one about James's extravagance. I'm saying this as if you guys know what I'm talking about. Some people might, I don't know. That question was really good. And then I had my Russia exam the day before my birthday. And I came away from that thinking like, oh girl, that's okay, you revised for that. Because a lot of people were like, it's only 15%, don't even bother revising it. But I was like, no, just in case I don't do as well as the others, then at least I've got this, it's 15%, but oh well. And it was about Stalin. And I came away from those two exams thinking, okay, that's okay, but obviously not. So to get that A in English was just the best thing that ever happened to me, and nothing, I don't think, ever in my life will top that, and how I felt and how I cried, and I was so proud, and I was just so happy that I managed to do that. It was insane. Like, whether you watching think, oh, but that's not an A star, or oh, but I got an A star. It doesn't matter to me because I was only I was only expected to get, my target grade was a C. And I started off the year, especially, I remember my Handmaid's Tale, first ever Handmaid's Tale essay, I got 4 out of 35, and by the end of year 13 I started getting 32 out of 35, and it was just amazing. And then in art, which was the biggest, like, what? I got an A, and like, my art, my exam project, that was good. Like, you know when you do something, you're like, okay, that's good. Like, you're not being egotistical, you're not being tooting your own horn, but that's good. Like, that's what I was like for my exam project, because guess what? I based it on The Handmaid's Tale. Our question was freedom and limitations, and I decided, hey, that's perfect for The Handmaid's Tale. Like, and I love The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale was my thing. Like, the series was amazing, but obviously what I love is I started it and I found out about it through the book. I studied it for 2 years, then the series came out, and then I did my art project on it. It was just perfect. And I think that's what saved me here, because my year 12 work was not great. There was no way that I thought I was going to get an A, considering all of my mocks were like Bs, and they slowly started to go down to B minuses towards the end of the year. So to get that one, basically the only teacher that was there of mine on results day was my art teacher, my fabulous art teacher that I've had for every single year, so 7 years, just the most amazing person ever. She was there, and I went up to her, I was like, how did this happen? And I hugged her, and she was like, it's well deserved. And I was just like, I just don't know how that happened. Like, in my drawing exam, for the actual exam, you know, I got C+, that's great, but I'm just saying, like, how did I then get an A? I just don't understand it. It must have been that Handmaid's Tale thing. I think the passion came through, and it was all, from the start, all linked and lovely, and I'll show you a picture here of what I did for my final piece, and oh my god, I was so proud of that. I never painted like that before, that's for sure. Okay, so then for history, I got a C. Now, that's good, that's good. I'm proud of that. And why I'm proud of that, before everybody starts saying, oh my god, C, like they did for GCSE. I remember those comments. Why I say that is so amazing for me is because I know this was not very evident. Obviously, I don't know if my teachers knew this, but history was my weakest subject, and it was the one that I worried about so much. Like, oh my gosh. The odd thing about it was, in every mock I did, I would get a B, or I'd get an A, or one of my questions would be like an A star. I remember for my mock I did in January, in the Middle East section, so 40%, I got an A star in every single question of that paper, and that paper overall. So to then go into the exam and not do the same, it was just odd. It's just odd to me. I don't understand what I did so wrong, because I worked hard, and I don't care what anyone says. People can work hard and still not get top grades. That's just how it works. But that's something that people tried to tell me in the GCSE video was not true. Don't say that, because that's not true. For my GCSEs, I worked my backside off. Not as much as I did for A-levels, because I was doing YouTube. I was like, what direction? I was all thinking about other stuff. But I still worked hard, and sometimes that just doesn't transfer. It doesn't apply to the actual, it just doesn't happen sometimes. But for ones like English and art, it did happily and very luckily transfer and show, but for history it just didn't, and that's fine. I passed, I don't mind, it's okay, it's fine, it's chill, I'm okay, like, I don't mind. GCSE, I never got A's, I never got A stars, I never got A's in anything. Oh, I don't know how it happened. I am very happy. I've just been on cloud 9, and I don't think I'll ever come down. I just don't. My biggest message for you is to work hard. Even if you're getting a D, or you're getting an E, or you're getting a C, C's are still really good though, babes. Like, please don't think that a C or a B is not good just because it's not an A star. Because people are at different levels. It doesn't matter what anybody says. If you work hard, you will do really well. So now on to the exciting bit to talk about, but at the time awful. So this is the GCSE video part of the video, which is sort of linked to the A-level one, so still in section 1. So that GCSE video, it was all well and good. The views were crazy, like it got 2 million views. It's insane, and a lot of people knew us from it. All of my teachers the day of sixth form, when I went back, they were like, I saw your video, I saw your video, I saw your video, I saw your video, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But the hate comments that came from it were just absolutely disgusting. They were awful. They ruined my confidence. They shattered every single part of hope that I had. They were like, I get woken up in the middle of the night saying you should be ashamed of yourself. It was a blessing in disguise because it made me work so hard for my A-levels, even though it was awful at the time and it made me so upset for such a long time, all the comments about my grades. I wouldn't have done so well at A-level if it wasn't for it, because I wouldn't have worked as hard, because I then wanted to be like, look, I can get whatever I put my heart to or my mind to. Okay, so on to the second part of the video. This is about what is happening with Izzy and I, what's going on, why is she not here, what happened to the channel. Okay, so as you know, we are not on Squared anymore. I'm not going to get into it. I have nothing but love for everybody on Squared, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. If I was still on Squared, I probably wouldn't have had as much time to revise my A-levels. We haven't uploaded in 11 months, which is crazy. We have been very, very busy, as you know. Obviously, A-levels were a massive thing for me. I would sacrifice everything for them. So that's, you know, that's that. And also it's just difficult because Izzy now works until 6. She's a qualified beauty therapist. She works in a spa. She's doing absolutely brilliantly. So she's busy doing that till 6 o'clock, and then I have an amazing job that I love. It's housekeeping. I love it. And Rosa works in the same place too, so it's just fantastic. I love my job. I work till 3. So, you know, it's kind of difficult to make videos. That's Humbug. Cheers, babe. Thanks, Humbug. Humbug's really testing it. Humbug! Stop it! But I love my job. It's brilliant. Fantastic. It just makes it really difficult to film, and we would also film in our house down Cornwall, but it's been sold now, so we don't have the lights, we don't have anything there. It's just completely different, and we're moving now. That's why my bedroom looks like this. That's why I'm in just a normal room that's probably very echoey. We're moving back to a house that my mum's boyfriend used to live in, so yeah, pretty nice. So it's all going to be different, but I think once we're settled, I can convince Izzy to get back into the groove of it. It depends on how well this video does, because another factor in it was that we just weren't getting the views that we used to do. We weren't getting the feedback, we weren't getting the response. It was just like, you kind of get to the point where you think, what's the point? And we kept getting hate from that GCSE video. It was just like, there's no point, but I feel like there's a point now, and I've got a message to say obviously about the A-levels and you can do anything and all this stuff. So yeah. So what's happening next? I got 2 unconditional offers from university. I'm going to my top choice, which I'm obviously not going to say where it is. I mean, it's near where I live, so I'm not really going to say. But I was going to do primary school teaching, which is what I wanted to do for the longest time. I did all this stuff leading up to it to make sure that I could do it. I did work experience, blah, blah, blah. But I went through adjustment. I then adjusted my course to do English literature at university for 3 years, and then do a 1-year PGC at the end to then become an English teacher. And deep down, that's always what I've wanted to do. I just now have the grade to back me and give me the confidence. Throughout secondary school, I was a literacy leader for 2 years. I tutored a boy for 2 years, probably pushing on a year and a half. He was in year 9, and I taught him English, like tutored him for that long, and it just felt so right. This just feels so right to me, this English course. I just am so excited, and everything has just fallen into place. And I went through such a hard time worrying about my A-levels and not feeling that good because I wasn't getting A's or anything, and to finally come out with 2 A's and a C, and to be on the English Lit course, I just can't believe it. It's just completely fantastic. I'm so grateful for everybody, every teacher who's helped me along the way. Like my 2 English teachers and my art teacher that I've had for 7 years, they were all just so so brilliant, and I can't thank them enough. And if I could be anything like the teachers they are, I just would be so happy. Hopefully next time Izzy will be here with me. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye!